This is Art Television.
A very good evening and a warm welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Ashine Ali and let's have a look at the headlines first. Inflation accelerates to 14.2% in the first month of the year. CBSL reports. Government will overcome economic crisis within 6 months. Government says. News in detail. The government today stressed that they are in discussion with all aid agencies and efforts are being made to restructure foreign debt. Speaking to journalists from the Government Information Department via Zoom, Minister Ramesh Patirana assured that the government will be capable of sorting out the current economic crisis within 6 months.
That was a constant discussion that we've been speaking about that. Yes, we are open to all the institutions and all the ideas. So we have been speaking to IMF as well over a period of time, and it's our government during His Excellency Mahinda Rajapaksa's time which has obtained the highest amount of loan from International Monetary Fund. So we keep our doors open, and also at the same time we speak to the World Bank, Asian Development Bank, also other agencies. So we have honored the first $500 million repayment this year. Yes, we need to pay another $1 billion by June. We are trying to manage the situation, and also at the same time we are trying to restructure. We are in discussion with all the agencies. Hopefully we should be able to manage the current crisis within 6 months' time down the line.
There was a plan earlier to appoint ministers to negotiate with individual countries, to put ministers in charge of individual countries for debt restructuring.
There is no ministerial committee appointed as such, yeah. But Central Bank and under the Honorable Finance Minister spearheading that campaign, they are speaking to different agencies, and also the Governor of the Central Bank he is also actively involved. So we hope that we should be able to restructure some of the loans, but it's still we are at the discussion level.
The government also reiterated that there are grievances faced by citizens in the northern and eastern provinces which have not been yet attended to, and that it is very keen on sorting out these issues. When questioned by a journalist at the weekly cabinet media briefing, Minister Ramesh Patirana said that the political party Tamil National Alliance is at any time free to talk with the president regarding their grievances.
Last week, the Foreign Minister and Justice Minister was in Jaffna. During their visit, they met TNA parliamentarian Sumantiran. But I remember last year, President invited to Tamil political party leaders to meet, and last minute it was cancelled. Between that, recently Tamil political party leaders sent a letter to Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well. So what is the plan? The government, the President will meet the Tamil leaders and discuss anything their issues.
There is no question as such. They are part and parcel of the Sri Lankan social ethnic fabric, and they are very much citizens of this country. TNA is legal political party of this country. They can meet the president of the country as and when they wish. So it's a matter of making a request. So, and we are also very open-minded about all these issues. That's why Foreign Minister himself and also Honorable Minister of Justice, they personally visited these areas, and as I described earlier, they are taking personal interest to ensure that Tamils of this country, they have their grievances. Yes, we understand that over a long period of time, certain issues were not settled for a long period. We are specifically addressing those issues, and also His Excellency the President and his government is quite open-minded about their issues, and we want to settle them forever.
Based on Department of Census and Statistics data released yesterday, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka reports that headline inflation, measured the year-on-year change in the Colombo Consumer Price Index, increased to 14.2% in January 2022. The average inflation rate for the month of January 2022 is 6.9%. Inflation was driven by monthly increases of prices of items in both food and non-food categories. Year-on-year food inflation increased to 25% in January 2022, while non-food inflation increased to 9.2% in January 2022. Monthly change of CCPI was recorded at 2.43% in January 2022 due to price increases observed in items of both food and non-food categories, which were 1.15% and 1.28% respectively. In the food category, prominent increases were observed in prices of rice, fresh fruit, milk powder and bread. The non-food category recorded increases due to price increases observed in the transport, housing, water, electricity, gas and other fuel, education and restaurant and hotel subcategories. The CCPI for all items in January was 158.4, registering an increase of 3.7 points compared to December 2021 and represents an increase of expenditure by Rs 2,271 in the market basket. The year-on-year core inflation, which reflects underlying inflation in the economy, increased to 9.9% in January 2022. Annual average core inflation increased to 5% in January 2022. Stay tuned for more news right after this commercial break.
News, views, highlights, updates and opinions. This is Wake Up with us.
Welcome back after the break. The Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka communicated yesterday that starting tomorrow, the demand for electricity can be managed during the month of February. The CB stating that there is a need for power shedding from 25th of January to 4th of February proposed power interruptions. This will not be allowed until the 4th of February 2022. PUCSL Chairman Janaka Ratnayaka commented at a media briefing yesterday that after reviewing power plants and their fuel consumption, it was decided that no interruptions will be required. Chairman Ratnayaka added that the decision was made after considering the impact of power interruptions on the economy, preparation for A-level examinations. The chairman highlighted the fact that maintenance at several power plants is coming to an end and that crude oil has been supplied to the Sapakaskanda oil refinery, which has begun the process of refining the fuel required for power plants. He explained that refining of crude oil will produce fossil fuels and naphtha. These can each generate 495 megawatts for 13 days and 150 megawatts for 5 days respectively. PUCSL calls on the support of consumers to manage the supply of electricity as it is essential during this challenging situation. Chairman Ratnayaka requests that consumers follow the energy-saving guidelines proposed by the PUCSL. These include limiting lighting, reducing the use of air conditioners, and limiting the lighting duration of street lamps. It is expected that these measures can save 3.7 gigawatt hours per day, enabling the shutdown of a 150 megawatt power plant for 24 hours. The PUCSL has also taken steps to get the support of private and state organizations to generate about 300 megawatts of capacity through the use of their power generators. The High Commissioner of India to Sri Lanka, Gopal Bagley, yesterday at a cultural celebration marking 75 years of Indian independence, conveyed warm wishes for Sri Lanka's own upcoming National Day celebrations. The High Commissioner, in his address to those present, highlighted the shared values between the two nations, close collaboration and strengthening of ties.
You might wonder why we stop at 3rd February. The answer is very simple. Next day is Sri Lanka's 74th National Day. Another joyous occasion for us to celebrate, and that's when we will join our brothers and sisters in Sri Lanka in celebrating with pride, with gaiety, with happiness their National Day, their Independence Day on the 4th of February. So therefore, this is again a pointer to the values that we share, the values of democracy, the values of diversity, the values of civilization, culture, the ties that bind us, and we had a brief glimpse of those ties just in the foyer before we came into this hall when, along with Madam Rajpaksha and the dignitaries, we inaugurated a very small exhibition of the Buddhist heritage of India. These civilizational ties not only gave us the vision from the past and projecting it into the future for our people to work ever closer together, for us to realize their aspirations, but they also give us the blueprint. When we want, when we aspire, and we endeavor to connect our people even more closely to build closer ties of economic and closer commercial cooperation through more trade and more investment.
General Kamal Gunaratne at a government media conference yesterday stated that the 74th National Independence Day celebration parade will involve the Tri-Forces in a display of the nation's might to bolster the people's sense of pride and boost morale. Rehearsal and preparations for the celebration are ongoing with Sri Lanka police and military police support to ensure that the public do not face any hardships while travelling in Colombo city during this period.
මේ වැඩසටහන් විස්තරය ගත්තොත් අපි වෙනදා වගේම නිදහස් මන්දිරයේදී දෙවැනිදා සර්වරාත්‍රික පරිත්‍රාණ ධර්ම දේශනාවක් සහ තුන්වෙනිදා උදේට හුණුපිටිය ගංගාරාම විහාරස්ථානයේදී සංඝගත දක්ෂිනාවක් පැවැත්වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම පෙබරවාරි 4 වෙනිදා උදෑසන නිදහස් දින උත්සවයට සමගාමීව අනෙකුත් ආගමික ස්ථානවල ඒ ආගමික වතාවත් සිදු කරනවා. ඊට පස්සේ ප්‍රධාන උත්සවයේ විදියට ආරක්ෂක හමුදා පොලිසිය සහ සිවිල් ආරක්ෂක බලකායත් පාසල් සිසු සිසුවියනුත් ඒ වගේම සංස්කෘතික කණ්ඩායමුත් සම්බන්ධ වෙලා ඊ타මත්ම මනරම් ඒ වගේම අභිමානවත් පෙළපාලියක් පැවැත්වෙනවා. මේ සඳහා ප්‍රධාන අමුත්තා විදියට පුරුදු පරිදි අතිගරු ජනාධිපති ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමා පැමිණෙනවා. සියලුම කටයුතු සිදු වෙමින් පවතිනවා. ඉතින් අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා පෙබරවාරි 4 වෙනිදාට අපේ රටේ හැම කෙනාටම දැක ගන්න ඒ වගේම වෙනත් රටවල පදිංචි වෙලා ඉන්න ශ්‍රී ලාංකිකයින්ට තමන්ගේ රට ගැන අභිමානයක් ඇති වෙන විදියට මේ නිදහස් දුන උත්සවය පවත්වන්න ඒ වගේම මේ රට බේරගත්ත රණවිරුවන්ගෙන් සමන්විත අභිමානවත් පෙළපාලියක් රටට ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න.
Stay tuned for stock updates.
Roundup.
Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all-share price index dropped 87.38 points to close at 12,922.12, and the S&P/SL 20 dropped 59.21 points to close at 4,338.36. The turnover was 9.7 billion rupees and over 399 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex rates. And that's all news for today. See you tomorrow with State of Business at the usual time. Until then, take care and good night.